Hello, I'm Cameron Wild.
And I'm Victoria.
And today we're going to show you how to set up your RV when you get to camp. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe for a new video every Saturday.
And in the comments below, let us know what your favorite RV accessory is for getting set up. We've got our own arsenal of tools that we like, but we're always open to trying new things.
And if we forget anything in this video, definitely let us know.
Oh, they'll let us know.
First thing you want to do when you pull in is make sure that you haven't driven too far past any of your connections. So you probably don't have more than 20 feet of sewer hose, and if you're 30 feet past that, you're not going to be able to hook up. So always double check that before you drop your trailer or start putting out your stabilizers. As you're pulling into your site, you want to see if it's level side to side. If it's not, you're going to have to get out your levelers and put them under the side of the RV that's lower.
My job is to level the trailer, and these are what we used to use to do that. So not only does this take forever to puzzle together, but it also takes up a ton of space in your camper. You're going to need at least 2, maybe 3 big blue bags of blocks. So a few months ago, we decided no more. We got these Anderson levelers, and they've been life-changing. And don't forget the chalk. So these 2 pieces are all you need to achieve the same leveling as those Lynx blocks I had earlier. Not only do these take up a lot less room, but they're super easy to use. All you have to do is pull her back onto the slip, and as you roll that wheel into the leveler, you're gonna get more and more degrees of levelability. All you do then, chalk her up and you're good to go.
Once you're leveled, it's time to put in your chocks. Always make sure you do this before you unhitch if you have a trailer. If you have a trailer, the next thing you're going to want to do is to disconnect from your truck. Again, make sure you have your chocks in. You should always put something underneath your tongue jack just to protect the pavement. We like to use this Anderson jack block because it also gives it some extra lift where we don't have to extend the tongue jack as much to get it off the truck. Then once you're disconnected from the truck, you can level from front to back just by raising or lowering the tongue jack. If you have a motorhome, you'll use your built-in jacks or leveling blocks to level front to rear. And just to make sure that somebody doesn't roll off with your nice shiny trailer, maybe consider installing a coupler lock like this.
Once you've got your RV leveled, it's time for the stabilizers. My job.
Hey, you want to try this?
Yeah. Woo. All right, so instead of using this total piece of garbage, we have this really awesome drill bit that hooks right on to, what is this called? This thing. And makes this go a lot faster. Before you put your stabilizer all the way down, you're gonna wanna put something, whether it's a pad or a Lynx leveler, underneath, just to give it better contact with the ground and to protect the pavement if you're camping in an RV park. There's a lawnmower.
We might have to pick this up later.
I think we might. When we drive, we turn our propane off. So one of the things that we do when we get to camp, we turn it back on so we can cook, use our furnace, whatever else we need for propane.
First connection we like to make is power. That way we can get our AC running right away, especially if it's hot. So come on over here. So we'll first connect to the trailer itself. So we've got our 30 amp hookup right here. We'll stick this in here like this and a slight rotation to lock it in there. And then this ring right here is just to keep the plug in. You don't need to make it super tight. Now we'll go over to the electrical hookup and plug in there. We're living life on the edge. We don't have a surge protector. A lot of people like to use a surge protector when they're in a campground so that if there's any power surge, their camper's not damaged. We're looking at buying one of those. We just don't spend a lot of time on hookups, so we don't have one at the moment, but definitely something you should look into. Our trailer uses a 30 amp hookup. That connection looks like this. Trailers that have 2 ACs, most bigger RVs, those will be 50 amps. And those look like this. Now some RV parks will only have a 50 amp hookup. In that case, if you have a 30 amp hookup, it's really good to have one of these adapters. And so this will plug into the 50 amp, you plug your 30 amp on the other side, and you can operate as normal. Before you make your connection, you want to make sure that all the fuses are off. That is so that when you're plugging in, if the connection sort of jiggles in and out, you're not going to have power surges go into your camper. So I've double checked these, all the fuses are off, so I make my connection. At that point, I'll go ahead and turn it on. Again, we don't have 50 amp, so the only one we need to turn on here is the 30 amp. Now we don't really watch TV, but if you're gonna hook up your cable, this is where you would do it. Next thing to do is go ahead and hook up our fresh water. A lot of campgrounds have really high water pressure, so we definitely recommend having a pressure regulator. This keeps the pressure down to 40 or 50 PSI, rather than some campgrounds will have like 60, 70 PSI, and that can really overload your pipes and cause a leak. Now this campground actually has a pressure regulator already installed, so we don't need to use our own. Just go ahead and hook this up right here. I like to turn the water on, just flush the hose out if there's any stale water sitting in there. And then we'll just connect the other end to the trailer. Easy peasy. Once you're hooked up, you just go turn on the water and you're good to go. Now comes the fun part. This is everybody's favorite part, hooking up the sewer connections, but really, it's not a big deal. I like to use these disposable gloves. It's not the greenest solution, but it makes a relatively gross experience not gross at all. So what you need for this operation is a sewer hose, maybe another sewer hose, and a 90-degree elbow. I'll get my elbow connected to my hose and then put that into the sewer connection. Sometimes you can get away with just one hose, but it's usually a good idea to have a second just in case you're a little bit further away from the sewer connection. And then we'll hook up to the trailer. Now we have this contraption here, which is an extra gate valve. And the reason we installed this is because our black tank has just a slight leak. So it's a little bit of a dribble where sometimes when I would take off the cap, I'd get a little bit of black tank on the pavement, which is gross. We don't want that. So buying this was about 30 bucks, which is a lot cheaper than paying hundreds of dollars to fix the gate valve within the black tank. It's also good insurance just to make sure that when you pull this cap off, you're not gonna have any sort of nasty leakage coming out on you. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that cap off right now and hook up our sewer hose. Oftentimes in an RV park, you'll see people that have a support for their hose. And what that does is just create a nice steady slope to help everything run the way it should. We don't spend a whole lot of time hooked up, so it's not something we bother to carry around, but if you're gonna spend more time on hookups, it's probably a good thing to have. So we've actually been out boondocking, which means we've got a full black tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump that. Whenever you dump your black tank, you wanna make sure that you have enough water in your gray tank to give it a good flush. So 10 or 20 gallons, make sure that you're gonna push all the solids out of your hose and not get anything left behind. Another important thing is when you are hooked up, you want to keep that black tank closed. If you keep it open, there's not going to be enough flow to push those solids through. So it's good to let stuff build up in your black tank for a few days, and then when you've got enough water in your gray tank, you can flush everything out. Most people will leave their gray tank open when they're hooked up, but again, before you dump the black, you want to close that gray and build up a little bit of water to flush out the black. Now, once you're done dumping, you want to make sure to drop in a toilet tap. These have enzymes in them that keep everything breaking down so you don't get any blockages, and they keep the smell down as well. So we really like these because it's just a little gel pack. It's kind of like a dishwasher gel pack, and all you have to do is drop it down the toilet with some water so it can start working its magic, and you're well on your way to stink-free toilets.
All right, that's it. It's a pretty simple process.
Yeah, it kind of seems intimidating at first, but once you get the hang of it and you get your system down, it takes maybe like 15 minutes. It's really easy, and anybody can do it.
And I'm loving these hookups. It's very luxurious.
So now that the hard part's done, you can do the fun stuff. Put your grill out, put your chairs out, and just hang out and relax.
I'm going to the pool.
All right, I'll see you there. Well, thanks so much for watching. We really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button. That really helps us out. And also, make sure to subscribe for weekly videos every Saturday. We've got more for you like this, tips and tricks on RV life, and we also give you updates on our full-time travels.
And remember, we want to hear what your favorite RV accessory is for getting set up. So drop it in the comments below and we'll take a look.
All right, we'll see you next time.
We got these Anderson, do it again.
Why are you just staring at me?
Are you gonna throw it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready for it.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. I have ninja-like reflexes. We get to our new site. Give me a dead drill, kind of dead.